Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's DealerOn webinar. From the trenches, two dealership superstars are going to share successful strategies. My name is Eliana Raggio and I'll be your moderator today. And today's webinar is being presented by DealerOn. And for anyone who isn't familiar with DealerOn, well, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, and we're best known for our SEO, our amazing customer service, and our award-winning website designs, including the newly launched Chameleon responsive website platform. We're so committed to lead conversion, optimization, and customer service that we're the only company in the industry to offer a money-back lead guarantee program. So the question is, does your website company guarantee you a 50% lift in leads? Well, then maybe you should check us out at DealerOn.com. And we have a great show in store for you today. We're very pleased to have AJ Maida and Alex Jefferson as our presenters today. AJ Maida has been in the car business for over 20 years. An early adopter of internet marketing, he has been the director of digital and marketing for Papa's Chrysler Dodge Jeep in New Britain, Connecticut since April of 2007. Papa's has been the #1 volume dealer for new and certified Chrysler vehicles for 3 years in a row and is also Dealer Rater's 2013 Dealer of the Year for Connecticut in all brands that they sell. He was the cover story of the December 2010 Digital Dealer magazine, where Cliff Banks said, and I quote, "Maida has become one of those internet guys who is a leader in the business, whose perspective is a step or two ahead," unquote. AJ is a popular presenter at conferences and for online webinars, and he can be reached at AJ Maida at papasdodge.com or at AJ Maida on Twitter. Now, joining AJ Maida today is Alex Jefferson, who admittedly stumbled into automotive sales after spending years in car audio electronic sales. He started out on the front line selling cars before obtaining the position of Internet Sales Manager, Direct Marketing Manager, and now e-commerce director for the Proctor dealerships. He heads up all digital marketing and CRM initiatives, as well as new sales training, and has helped to grow the online presence of the Proctor dealerships to be one of the most visible in the Southeast region. His personal approach is to listen to anything, believe nothing, and question everything. A popular conference speaker and vocal member of the automotive community, Alex can be reached at Alex_Jefferson at proctorcars.com. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, don't worry, we'll respond by email later today. Also, don't forget, a link to download a copy of this webinar recording is also going to be emailed to you later today for your reference, and please feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. I also want to let you know that DealerOn is going to be at the upcoming Digital Dealer Convention 17 on September 23, 24, and 25 in Vegas, baby. So you got to stop by booth 102. Take the opportunity to check out our new responsive website platform, Chameleon. Learn why Google recommends that your dealership's website be built on a responsive platform, and check out the sexiest darn dealer websites you've ever seen. So if you're going to be a digital dealer, I want to see you. Make sure you stop by booth 102 and see the future of dealer websites. And while you're there, please check out these speaking sessions from 4 of our best and brightest at DealerOn. You definitely don't want to miss them. And we have a great news for all you attendees out there today. Our good friends at Papa's Dodge and the Proctor dealerships are going to be giving away some amazing prizes today on the webinar. You're going to have 3 chances to win. First, one of you lucky webinar attendees is going to win a complete car care gift pack of Turtle Wax products. Next, one of you will win 3 Dodge Ram hats in a variety of colors. And the third prize is a unique, ergonomically designed wireless Google mouse brought straight from Google headquarters. All you have to do is stay tuned for details after today's presentation, and you could be scoring one of these awesome prizes today. And if that wasn't enough, also at the conclusion of the webinar, you're going to receive a short survey. So please fill it out, because we're always looking for great feedback from our audience. Today we're going to randomly select a couple of people from all those completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. Let's have some fun today, and let's get started. We're going to hear from the trenches. 2 dealership superstars share successful strategies. AJ and Alex, Man, oh man, I am so glad you two are here. How are you guys?
We are awesome. Thank you, Eliana.
Doing great, Eliana. How you doing? I love that. I love that name, Chameleon, because
Chameleon?
it's kind of like digital marketing people. We have to be chameleons.
I guess it's true. Hey, listen, I want to let everyone know I have been a fan of Alex and AJ for quite some time, and when the idea came up to actually start showcasing some of these really wonderful superstars from dealerships, my first phone call was to AJ and Alex, and I'm so glad because I think you guys are going to put out some amazing, amazing information today. So thank you so much for being here and being my guinea pigs for this From the Trenches series. I really appreciate you. And let's get started because I know you guys have a lot to put out there today, and we do have a hard stop today, so we won't be able to go as long as we sometimes do. So let's get started. And why don't you guys tell us the kinds of things that our audience is going to be learning about today?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm excited to be able to share with our what I like to call our automotive family. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get into a few different tips. And the first one is tips on sales process and CRM. We all get leads. We all get traffic to our website. But are we maximizing those leads and opportunities that we get into our website? So that's the first thing that we're going to talk about.
We're also gonna talk a little bit about marketing. Sometimes we forget. We think marketing. We think traditional. Traditional marketing and all the other types of marketing all support our digital online presence. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the big blue blow-up gorilla in the room, which is social media. And God forbid we didn't touch on that. And then at the end,
then we're going to have a question and answer session. And we think that we'll be able to hopefully provide some insight into some of your questions today. But before we get started into sales process and CRM, I think we got a poll question, don't we, Eliana?
Yes, we are going to start off with a poll question, audience. Your first of 4 poll questions today. So please get involved, answer this poll question for us, and let's get started with from hearing from a lot of you today. The question is, how does your dealership currently handle your internet leads? Please select one of the following answers. Is it, hey, we have an internet sales team at the dealership? Or maybe you have an internet store, which is all of your salespeople, what is it, we call it round robin? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, it would be like a round robin or out on the floor.
Out on the floor, okay. Do you guys have a BDC that takes care of all of that? How about one person takes care of all the internet leads in the dealership? Does that happen at your dealership? Or maybe it's a hybrid. Maybe it's a mix of 2 or more of these. Maybe you do more than one of these, and so that would be the answer for you. Once we get a majority of those votes, we're going to close the poll and share the results. And yeah, like Kate wrote in, she said several of these apply to my organization. Fabulous. Pick hybrid. We're with you, Kate. I totally understand. Also want to let you know, while I would love it if you guys paid 100% absolute close attention to AJ and Alex and everything they're going to be talking about today, if you do have a spare moment to tweet out about today's presentation, please feel free to do so, and please use the hashtag DealerOnWebby or DealerOn or something like that so we know and we can find it. And hey, if you want to, you can also tag me in it. I am at Eliana Raggio. Of course, I would love to see your tweets. So thank you so much. And now we're going to close this poll and share the results. Hope you're ready for this, guys. 26% of today's audience said that they have an internal internet sales team. 12% said that their dealership uses the entire store as an internet sales team. They use all the salespeople. 38%, that would be the majority of today's audience, said that they have a BDC who handles all their internet leads. 15% of today's audience says that their dealership puts all of the internet leads onto one person's shoulders, and about 9% of today's dealership audience says that they use a hybrid. They, do more than one of these things to make sure that all the internet leads are handled. Alex, AJ, does that help you out?
Absolutely. It's interesting to see that BDC is actually more than internet sales team. When I'm out there in the industry talking to people, it's normally split pretty even, half and half. So that's an interesting number to see 38% with the BDC versus 26% for internet sales team. What do you think about that, AJ?
I agree wholeheartedly, especially considering that in our sales process in CRM, both of us have a tendency to go the internet team route, which I think you're going to talk about now, aren't you?
Yeah, let's go ahead and actually get right into that. And I guess I can kind of start off with a history. Let me take you back to a quick story in 2004 when I was actually on the floor. I was selling cars, and we had a pseudo BDC kind of set up. We had a gentleman who would set appointments, make phone calls, handle the email leads coming in, and email back out to the customers, and set appointments up. And I can remember this specific time when it was my time at bat, and I was right at my car that I needed for the bonus for the month. It was the end of the month. I walk over, I see this particular person who handled the leads at the time, laughing and joking with the customer. I walk over, he introduces me, I put my hand out for him to shake my hand. He shakes my hand, and his total demeanor changes. It's almost like I had three heads. So that was one of my experiences with a BDC type of setup where they had a relationship developed. They transferred them over to me. It was a good TO. And I could just feel the energy kind of shifting because they didn't know who I was, and I was kind of starting from ground zero. And let's fast forward to 2006 when I was actually handling all the internet leads myself. It was 150 to 200 leads a month. And I can remember how challenging sometimes it would be to handle all those leads and do the follow-up needed. And because of that, my philosophy is to have a hybrid setup. What we have basically is an internet sales team of people. They build a relationship with the consumer. They take it from start to finish. But in addition to that, we also have someone on the back end. And this person on the back end works as kind of like a client care specialist. They review the lead flow to make sure that individuals receive the leads at the time that they are available. And they also review the process in terms of, are we following up the way that we need to follow up with the customers? And this has worked pretty well for us. What about you, AJ? Can you tell us a little bit about, BDC versus internet team and your internet process that you have currently set up?
Well, Alex, the way we're doing it is somewhat of the hybrid thing. As far as our form leads and stuff, I have an internet team of two guys that handle all of that. They come in, they answer them, we send an autoresponder in, and then they make a personal contact, and they go cradle to grave. They take the person from the minute that they come in until the car gets delivered, hopefully, and goes over the curb. And then as far as phone calls go, our phone calls go open to the floor. Everybody, including the two guys in the internet department, gets the phone calls in an open thing, and that's not just from my website. That's from all my third-party phone calls and everything. All the sales calls just go out to everybody on the floor, and that's kind of how we handle it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll go on. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Take some training, which I think you're going to talk to us about now, right?
Yeah. Let me jump into training a little bit. If you pull up the next thing, I think well, I look at this a little bit different, and I want everybody on the call to look at this from this perspective. Now, it shows marketing up there, and it's like, we're talking about training. What do you mean marketing? And my philosophy is this. I've been saying it for about a year and a half now. The integration between sales and marketing is really starting to come together. And what do I mean by this? What I mean is that your salespeople are really starting, in essence, to become marketers, especially your internet team. Your internet team, they are doing email marketing. So what does this mean? What do you have to be trained on? Your team has to be trained on spam. They need to know what causes emails to go into people's spam filters. They need to be trained on subject lines. Are you doing any testing on subject lines in some of your mass email programs, and then bringing that to your sales team and letting them know what works and what doesn't work? Also, ad copy or sales copy. Are you getting with your team and training them on how to write sales copy that causes consumers to take action? Also, the frequency. How much is too much and how much is not aggressive enough? Also, getting with your team and training them on mobile devices. How does your email show up in a mobile device, and how does it show up in a tablet environment? So these are some of the things when I talk about marketing as it relates to training. This is one of the big initiatives that we started to move forward, especially with our internet team, and it's starting to also spread to the sales floor as well. Can you tell me something that's kind of important to you as it relates to training, AJ?
Well, it has been, and it still is, and I think even more. If we look if we look at our metrics, we'll notice that people don't want us emailing them anymore. They don't want to get us our autoresponders and our and all of that kind of stuff. They want to hide, and they used to try to hide by email. Now they figured out they can't, so they're going back to the phone. I've seen the trend where phone calls are now back surpassing email leads, form leads. And so we're back to phone training big time. We've had the ninja Jerry in here, and we constantly do phone training. We do, like you said, we work on our emails and how they go out. Most of our emails, my two guys are writing custom emails. They have templates that they use, but everything is somewhat custom. Within our CRM process, we have emails that go out automatically, but they're set up in such a way that the email 4 follows email 3 and references email 3, so they don't look like they're templated emails. And that's a big part of what we're doing within the CRM process and our sales process and things of that nature. As far as response times, as I say, we do a lot of custom emails in our metrics, and I measure response times. I measure time on site a lot, bounce rates, and things of that nature. Response times, you know what? I don't need to get slaps on the back from the OEM that, oh, you're responding to the emails in 5 minutes and all of that. I would rather my guys took the time and wrote a quality email that will convert someone into an appointment and get them in here so that we get a sales opportunity, then we beat the clock and make the CRM happy. What kind of metrics are you using now?
Oh, man, AJ, there are so many different metrics out there that one can measure, especially being an e-commerce director. I think, one thing that's really important is to understand you have to be able to manage what you measure. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give everyone on the call, and you can write this down, 2 metrics that if you measure them, they can actually affect business. And that's really what...
Wait, let me get my pen.
Okay, you got your pen? You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. So the first metric is time to buy, okay? Do you know how long within a 90-day period is the average amount of time it takes somebody when they submit an email lead to buy? Based on our latest metrics, 68% of our customers buy within 7 days. So let me say that again. Within a 90-day time frame from the point in time that somebody submits an email lead, 68% of them buy within seven days. And guess what? 88% buy within 15 days. I sound like Joe Verdi over here, but here's the point, okay? And here's why this is so crucial. If I know that 68% or 7 out of 10 people who are going to buy within 1 week, what that does is that it lets me communicate that to my internet team, and we can adjust our process based on that. We know how aggressive that we need to be within those first 7 crucial days. So that's the first metric, okay? Time to buy. How long does it take the consumer to buy? The second metric is contact ratio, okay? Now, there are a lot of different metrics out there, how many appointments did you set, and that's great. How many people did you get to come in off of the appointments? And I can have a whole chart of all different types of stuff that we can measure. But guess what? You got to be able to get in contact with the customer. And what this means is, are they emailing you back, or are you contacting them by phone, or are they contacting you back based on an email that you sent out? And guess what? Our latest metrics show that our average contact ratio within a 30-day period is 68%, okay? And we have a high of 78%. Now, here's the thing. Here's why that number is important. If you have a team of people and you got one guy contacting at 78%, and you got another person on the team contacting at 50%, you can have conversations and you can look deeper into what they are doing. Are they being aggressive enough on the follow-up? Are they doing something as it relates to email in their subject line that's getting people not to open their emails? You can look deeply into it. So those are two metrics that I think everybody can take home to the bank and actually use today after they leave this webinar that will have a direct effect on their internet closing ratio. With that being said, AJ, we both recently, as far as CRM companies, have done research and look into and have moved or are going to move over to a new CRM. Can you kind of get into your thoughts on what you look for when we're looking for a new CRM?
I looked at a lot of stuff, and a lot of, I mean, there's plenty of vendors out there with wonderful, wonderful CRMs. A lot of them are very similar to each other. So it becomes a question of what I felt was most important, and I think it's buy-in, and I think it's buy-in by our management staff, because I didn't want to get saddled with the responsibility of making sure everybody was doing their follow-up and making their phone calls and sending out their emails. So we went for one that was easy for our managers at a glance to be able to look at and be able to make sure that everybody is going to be able to follow up. We're about halfway through the process of setting the thing up, and I'm hoping that we were right and that we got it right. You know, because plenty of times with what we do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say something here. If you do not make a mistake, if you do not get a bloody nose at some point, okay, and have to go back and change what you did, you're not doing your job. You have to get out there. You have to be willing to take a chance. You have to be willing to change and hope that you get it right. But you know, I've gotten plenty of bloody noses in this business, but there's been plenty of times when I didn't have to wipe my nose and I got it right, and that's helped us to become the #1 volume Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealer in Connecticut. How much fun did you have finding a new CRM, Alex?
Oh man, AJ, we took about 2 years, and some people would say we took about 4. I've actually went through a few different CRM changes. We're on our second CRM change. We recently moved over to a new CRM vendor, and basically I looked for 4 things. And with this, I called a lot of my buddies around the industry. You know, Eric Mills was one of the people that I talked to, and he said, you need to get something that has to be good on mobile. You know, but I actually have 4 things that I look for. So #1 was mobile capability. You know, ease of use and integration. Can the salesperson walk out on the lot, enter information into the mobile phone? Does that integrate with inventory management tools and things of that nature to make it easy? Does it also integrate with the desktop version seamlessly? So mobile capability was the #1 thing that we look for. The next thing is process flexibility. And that's what a CRM is for. You know, a lot of these CRMs, you get sold on all the backflips that the thing can do. But the bottom line is how detailed is the system and how proficient is the system at actually design process to help you sell cars. The #3 thing is reporting. I'm a real big reporting guy, AJ, and it's important to be able to have reports that you can actually use that will affect business. And the final thing is customer support. Can you get somebody on the phone, and can you get them to answer a dang email? It's really important when you're looking into a new CRM, because I'm going to tell you they're going to be issues.
And not blame it on the other guy.
Exactly. AJ, can you tell us about some of the CRM misconceptions that may be out there in the market for people switching over?
There's, you know, we could make this the whole part of the day, but I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that you're going to buy it and you're just going to plug it in, and all of a sudden you're going to be selling more cars because your salespeople are going to be doing better follow-up and things of that nature. You know, it's not going to automatically be used. Right now, as I said, we're going through the process of installing a new one, and I think this period of time when you're installing a new one is the most important time, because what you're doing is this is when you're going to get buy-in from your staff, whether it be your sales staff, your service staff, your management staff. This is where you're going to get buy-in from them so that they're going to understand that this is a tool that is going to help them to sell more cars, parts, and service and make more money for their family.
Okay, I just want to let you know, gentlemen, we have gotten many, many questions from many of the listeners out there who would like to know if you would share which CRM provider you are going with or you have or you use or you like. I mean, they've said it every single possible way possible, and I know you didn't want to say it, but they want to know. I'm sorry, guys. They want to know, who do you like?
As I said earlier, I like a lot of them. There's a bunch of them that I looked at that I like. I'll tell you, Dealer Socket's a real good one. For service, X-Time's a really good one. But the one that we went with, and mostly Dealer.com has a really good one. The one we went with, and mostly I went with it because of its ease of management, for ease of usability for my management team, was iMagic Labs.
Thank you.
Okay, and me personally, I will mirror what AJ said. You know, we looked at a lot of good CRMs out there. Dealer.com, absolutely. I looked at theirs, and it was definitely a really good CRM. Dealer Socket seemed like a solid CRM as well. We looked at iMagic, and they had some really, really cool stuff as well. We decided to actually go with Vin Solutions, and part of it had to do with the way that we felt it would integrate with our current systems and things of that nature. So we went with Vin Solutions.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Please continue. I know you have a lot more information to get to.
All right, let me jump in and talk about the bulletproof thing real quick, you know, in terms of misconceptions. I'm going to tell you, no matter what, again, this is my second CRM change. So I've actually used, I used each previous CRM for 5 years, and when we're on our next CRM, Vin Solutions, and no matter what I've learned is, the CRM salespeople, let me tell you something, guys, okay? They're the best salespeople in the world, okay? The CRM is going to be able to do backflips, and it's going to be able to swim, and it's going to be able to win marathons and everything when you're getting sold to CRM. And so, basically what I want to say is the CRM, it may be 10 foot tall, but it's not 10 foot tall and bulletproof. There will be some challenges that you got to go through, and I think, and that's why it's so important to have good support to be able to work through these issues as it relates to any possible bugs that it has in the system, and also, most importantly, helping to get your team trained.
And by the way, folks, we tried to get the webcams to work, but we couldn't get them to work because Alex is going to do a backflip at the end of the presentation for you, but you just won't be able to see it.
You just hear me follow my head.
All right, guys, come on. We have, I think we have 3 more at least
all right,
sections to get to. So let's go.
We want to talk about, you know, the website, because that's where, you know, that's where most of us spend a lot of our time, and that's, you know, that's what everybody thinks about when they think about what we do. And I'm going to talk about your inventory and your VDPs and how important that really is. You've got to make sure that your cars are presented properly. This is where you're going to be able to sell your cars. You have to make sure that put color in your descriptions. Write on your pictures. Yeah, you know, get rid of it. Get rid of the logo for your dealership. Everybody knows where you are. They're on your website. Get rid of that. We're actually looking at a new VDP product from a company called I Drove It, and basically I'm really excited about this. It'll be going up in another week or 2, but within the VDP, everything's there that people want. Contacts, the Carfax, the Edmunds, the OEM site. Down the bottom is similar vehicles. On the left-hand side, under where it says I Drove It, there's actually going to be comparative, once it's launched, there's going to be comparative vehicles from my competition and their price. The whole idea is to keep people on my website. We work really hard to get them on our website. We don't want them leaving our website and going somewhere else. So for me, the number one most important thing on your website is your VDPs and how you're marketing your cars. The number 2 most important thing is your fixed ops pages, which people don't pay attention to. I'll get into that in a little bit. Alex, I know there's something that really bugs you about websites, so I'm going to let you get into that.
Well, I'm not gonna say it bugs me, but let me give you a tip, and I'll start it off with a quick story about 2009. In 2009, I thought I was clever, and I decided that I was going to make my website have the best consumer experience possible. Okay, so I sent out this email blast to my database. It was to thousands and thousands of people, and I asked them for input on how we could improve our website. And then the pop-up conversation came. And let me show you what they thought about pop-ups. Okay. I mean, email after email about all the pop-ups that we had on our website and how much our consumers hated our pop-ups. So what did you think I did? I took all the pop-ups off of my site. But here's the thing, guess what happened? My leads went down, okay? So then I went and looked at my Google Analytics, and I removed the pop-ups. My time on site did not increase. The page views did not increase, but the leads went down. So I'm thinking, all right, they say that they hate it, but it's not affecting user behavior, and I'm getting less leads. Here's the question. What do you do? What do we do now? Well, what I try to do is I try to find somewhat of a balance. I try to strike a balance and not have multiple things popping up at the same time. I mean, I've literally went to websites and they're literally, anywhere from 2 to 3 things that pop up within a 3-second time frame, and you're hitting X, you're Xing the pop-up buttons out, and you can't even really navigate through the site. What we try to do is we try to prevent that. And we prevent that by doing different behavioral things on the website. So one example might be, instead of having your chat pop up on the front page, maybe have that pop up after they visit a certain amount of a certain type of page. Maybe they visit 7 or 8 BDP pages, or they're on the BDP page for 2 minutes or whatever it is. So what happens is this limits the chances that this chat pop-up is going to pop up at the same time as something else. So I think that, one tip for everybody, people may say, okay, well, pop-ups, people hate them and things of that nature. And people will tell you that they hate them, but guess what? What people say and what they do are 2 totally different things. Wouldn't you agree, AJ? Talk about a little bit in terms of how you actually get more people to your website, if you don't mind.
Yeah, but before I do, I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, there's a perfect example of getting your nose bloody. Alex tried something, it didn't work, so he researched it and went a different way. So make sure you do a lot of research and a lot of experimentation and a lot of testing. SEO, we do a lot of SEO. Everybody says it's dead. It's not dead. Organic search is still important. It's probably more important with all the changes that Google has made than it's ever been. You can win with organic search when you're out there. It's my #1 thing that I do. I do SEO in everything I do. I do SEO in my reviews. I do SEO on my BDPs. I do it in my descriptions. I do it for my parts. I do it for my service. I do it through my blog, which I just changed and got some help. I just hired Kate Frost to help me with my blog because I wasn't doing a good enough job with it. SEO is important. It drives traffic to your website, and it's still viable. And if you're not doing local SEO, okay, your SEO must be local. Think about it, guys. Schema came out, okay? Google, Yahoo, and Bing actually worked on something together. So that kind of told me it was important. So if you don't have schema on your website, if your website's not based on name, address, phone number, local stuff, then you're not doing your SEO the justice that it needs to have done. So, Alex, what kind of tricks are you using, or I shouldn't really call them tricks, what type of tools are you using on your website to improve the customer engagement?
Hey, let's just keep it simple, stupid. One thing that I want to talk about is reducing clutter, and I think that from a conversion standpoint and from a user experience standpoint, this is something that is very, very, very important. So I want to ask everybody a question. Website look like this? Okay, so
that can't be real. There's no way that's real. That can't be real.
They sell a ton of cars.
Well,
it's not because of their website.
Exactly. I mean, it's an exaggeration. I mean, but does your website have all the pop-ups at the same time? Does it have a ton of different colors going on in terms of the color scheme? Do you have a lot of different types of fonts on the site? I mean, these different things will help user experience, because what it does is it makes it a lot harder for the people who navigate your site to find what it is that they're looking for. And I can give a real-life example of what probably has happened to all of you guys on the phone. I mean, ask yourself, have you ever left the store because you couldn't find what you wanted? I was in Walmart about, I don't know, it was about 6 weeks ago, and I decided I was...
You're sexy and you know it.
I stopped by this movie bin and had all these movies thrown in the movie bin, and I wanted to get me a nice comedy movie, but it wasn't organized, so I picked up a few movies, I couldn't find what I wanted, and I walked out the door. So all I'm saying is, try to keep your website clean, uncluttered, and it will definitely affect the user experience in a positive way.
Oh my God, I'm dizzy from watching that. I want to talk about service sites a little bit here. What happened, like Alex, a lot of us came from the sales side. So we focus on sales. A lot of us, because we came from the sales side and because of the way that dealer principals and GMs think about it, get paid on the sales side. Best thing you can do for your dealership and for your dealer principal is to drive service traffic. We make maybe 1% if we're lucky in front end selling cars. We're making 30 cents on a dollar in the back end and the fixed ops side. So you want to drive traffic to your service and to your parts thing. Part of the way that I do it is we actually have a separate site. We have probably more pages on our regular website than most people do for service and parts. But we also have a site that is purely a service site. Pep Boys has it, okay? Jiffy Lube has it. All these guys are reaching into your pocket. So you should have one as well. Shameless plug, this one happens to be a DealerOn website. So they have been yelling about, Jeff Clark's been yelling about service sites for years. We have it. It does help. It definitely gives us more spots in search when you're looking at Google page 1, Bing page 1, and Yahoo page 1. So it definitely fills in and gives us more spots on that. So look into getting yourself your own service site, and even if you don't, make sure you have your service and parts sites updated and filled in and on your website. Now, Alex, we're talking about websites, and we're talking about driving traffic, and we're talking about converting them into leads. What do you do for lead forms to get traffic, to get that traffic converted?
Yeah, I want to briefly talk a little bit about lead forms and just, once again, site conversion in general. And here's a name that I think would be beneficial for everyone on the call to follow. There's a guy out there by the name of Tim Ash, and he does a free podcast. And the name of the podcast is Landing Page Optimization. His name is Tim Ash. Landing Page Optimization is the podcast. And what he does is he talks about conversion rate optimization and the things you need to do on your website to make it convert at a higher level. And I'm going to ask you guys one simple question. When people go to your website and they get to your VDP, do they look like this? This is one of the biggest things. If you do any research on conversion, one of the biggest problems or challenges that I think that we have in automotive is I think we kind of overload people. So I'm going to give you a tip of the day, and this might be the tip of the day. I've tested it. It works. I can tell you. So you might want to write this down. It's called primary versus secondary, and this is specifically as it relates to your VDP pages, okay? What I'm saying is this. On your VDP page, we all know what our top converting button is. It could be your get a price, e-pricer, show me your price button. It could be your value, your trade button. It could be your credit app button. It doesn't really matter what the button is, but there is a button that you get more leads and a higher conversion than anything else. And the concept of primary versus secondary is basically finding some way to highlight that button, make it a different color, make it bigger, make it a different shape, whatever it is you have to do so that the customer is not confused that that is the main thing that you want them to do. That is what you want them to click on. And then you have your secondary buttons. You can have your secondary buttons all the same color. They can all be blue or all be gray, but they're all the same, and then you have your primary button. In the automotive industry, and I see it a lot, one of our biggest challenges is we like to put 10 buttons on one page. And I'm going to tell you something, and I've tested this, a confused mind does nothing. So take it for what it's worth, but in my opinion, the tip of the day is have a primary button on your VDP page. Now it's time for us to get into marketing a little bit. And
hey, Alex, can I just jump in real quick?
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Actually, I think the button thing was probably the second best advice you gave everybody. I saw Tim Ash last spring present at PubCon down in New Orleans. Folks, if you're not following that guy, you're doing yourself an injustice.
Gotcha. Well, let me say this about marketing. I think in marketing, we all have. Let me just put it to you this way. I think we have a disease, and let me show you what this disease looks like. I want everybody to see what this disease. All right, here's this disease. Okay, so pardon me if there's anyone on this call by the name of Vince. Okay, but what we all have is Vince-itis. See, let me tell you something, guys. Vince has a dream, and Vince's dream is to one day look like this. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? We got the abs going, you know, we got the obliques and the shoulders and the biceps and everything. Now remember, he doesn't look like that. That's all in his mind. It's all in his mind. And he wants it now. So he tries 20-minute abs. He tries the bicep blaster routine. He reads stuff in Men's Fitness and does P90X in boot camps. But what Vince does not realize is that there are a lot of pieces to the puzzle that have to come together, including lifting, nutrition, and sleep, and it has to be done consistently over time. And this is what happens to get hit up with from a lot of different vendors and things of this nature. You know, you can go from here to a rock star, or they give us the, you can sign up for this and you can sell another car. So we're running around scrambling with all of this stuff, trying to go from small to big and swole overnight. And so what we're going to do is we're going to show you a few pieces of the puzzle as it relates to marketing that we think if you implement that they will work and will be effective for you. AJ, can you kind of go into a little bit in terms of your traditional before we get into some of our other digital types of marketing that we do?
Yeah, basically our traditional advertising is all aimed at one thing and one thing only, and that's to drive people to our website. I call it sending everybody home. Whatever you do, you must send people home, and home is your website. We do radio, we do television, we do a lot of what's called cause marketing. We're big supporters of the Special Olympics. We do probably, so many events. We just did an Oktoberfest in downtown New Britain last weekend. This weekend we have a car show in downtown New Britain that's pretty big that we'll be at. We do a huge event in August called the Dream Cruise, where we have over 300 classic cars, and they do a police-escorted cruise. The first 50 cars are Special Olympians riding along with them, and it shows that we're community-minded. It makes us feel really good. We get a lot of hugs from the Special Olympians, which is the reason I do it. And as I say, but everything we do is to drive people to our website, because that's where you're going to convert people into buyers, is on your website in today's day and age. And I don't believe the newspaper does that, so I'll just say, what's a newspaper? Alex, what about you guys?
You know, AJ, you kind of hit on all the major points. Well, our strategy is really pretty similar to yours as it relates to traditional. I will add that we do some specific targeted direct mail, and I'll get into that specifically a little bit later when we start to talk about some of the other things that we're doing specifically. Can you talk a little bit about your split as it relates to traditional versus digital as it relates to the marketing spend?
Well, it only took about 9 years, but finally, we are actually spending more money on our digital than we are on traditional. It's about a 58 to 42% split. At least it's been for the last couple of months. And so right now, that's the direction we're moving in. That can vary depending on what we have going on. How about you guys?
Awesome. Well, we're at about a 45 to 55% split, meaning 45 digital and 55 traditional. That's about an estimate. We're reevaluating at the end of this year where we want to go with that. I had an amazing opportunity to visit Google again last week, and based on the latest media consumption stats that they showed us, digital consumption was at about 43% when you take into consideration digital TV, radio, newspaper, and things of that nature. So we're at a pretty good level, but however, we will reevaluate and determine where we want to be as the year comes to a close and we get ready to move into 2015.
Gentlemen, before you move any further, I want to let you know it's 1:15, and I know you have a lot of information, so I just want to make sure that you get through all of the information before the time is up. Thank you.
Thank you. What about email marketing? You guys doing email marketing? I've kind of slowed down on my email marketing. I'm doing like a monthly newsletter, and that's about it right now. I probably need to do some more, and I know you guys do more.
Yeah, I'll jump into this because this is really, really important. So I'll move through some of the other stuff quickly, but email marketing, there are a few points that I want to communicate to everyone on the call. Number one, you got to have a consistent strategy. We email through an external system, and what I mean an external system, I'm not a big believer in sending out large email blasts through your CRM. I have tested it, and I personally think if you use something like a constant contact or a vertical response, there's fewer limitations on what you do, so I'm a proponent of that. Also, what we do is we match back our email blast to the specific customer records so we can go and determine ROI from some of our email campaigns. Here's another tip for everybody on the call. The smaller your lists are, the better your performance will be. So if you send out an email blast to 10,000 people, obviously if you segment and chop your lists up and you're sending out the emails to 150 to 200 people, I mean, you can get your open rates as high as 40%. Another thing is you want to test to make sure that you are increasing and getting better each and every time. So I guess let's move on to display and retargeting and SEM, AJ. What you got going on with that?
Well, I have a little different view on that than a lot of people. We do some display. Okay, we do some SEM, mostly just to protect my name, but the majority of my money is being spent on retargeting. You know, I want to chase people around. I guess I look at it this way. It's more of a push than a pull. It's someone who's already expressed an interest in doing business with me, but I know we're in a unique position of having 8 other Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealers within a 45-mile radius.
Wow.
So they're also looking at them. So, you know what? I want to retarget them. They've been on my website. They've been on their website. So I need to get my name in front of them and get myself top of mind of the people who've already expressed an interest in doing business with me. Instead of going scattershot and trying to get everybody that's in the pond, I'm more trying to get the fish that are already in the stream. How about you guys?
Gotcha. Well, we have a focus primarily on SEM because, you know, I love the pull and the fact that people are out searching for, you know, our business and what it is that we sell. Retargeting is secondary, and I have concerns about display as it relates to bot traffic and things of that nature. So I really we don't have time to get into that based on our timeline today. Talk a little bit about video pre-roll and if you're doing anything right now and if you have initiatives for the future to possibly do something.
I've seen video pre-roll, and I know a lot of people that are having success with it. I heard about this guy down in Florida at Proctor Cars. I heard he's having a lot of success, so I'm going to let him talk about it.
Video pre-roll. I'm a proponent of video pre-roll. I think that in terms of how we do it, we do it based on campaigns that we're running at the specific time. We do video pre-roll on YouTube, but I want to show you guys something a little bit different today. And I call this a social video pre-roll. And we've had success with running video pre-roll actually on Facebook. So let me show you an example of what a social video pre-roll would look like. It is more of telling a story, posting it on social, spending money for it.
Call Laura Lee. Coming home in the new car.
Alex? Alex, you gotta show your screen.
I see it.
Oh, okay, I'm not seeing it.
You can raise your hand if you're not seeing it. Bravo.
All right. I guess, Eliana, if you could reach out to the audience and see if they actually had a chance to see the video that we played.
Yeah, apparently everyone saw it but me.
I'm so sorry, Eliana.
We'll send you a link.
No. The video is great. I'm just worried about the recording. So I'm going to make myself the presenter so we can show my screen so that I can make sure that the rest of the recording is intact. All right? I apologize. Please keep going.
Perfect. Well, just quickly, that is what I call a social video pre-roll, and we've run that in social on Facebook and had amazing results. Putting a little bit of money behind it, lots of likes, and more importantly, comments and shares. Yeah, I just bought a new Honda. Oh, I love so-and-so, and then dialogue going back and forth. Absolutely amazing. AJ, you want to get into equity mining a little bit, or are you doing anything with equity mining right now?
Yeah. Actually, we are not doing equity mining, and that's basically a reflection of budgetary restraints. I am spending my money in a different way, and I'd love to get into it, but we got to sell more cars and raise the gross so I get a bigger budget. So what are you guys doing?
Well, we're definitely, we've been doing equity mining for about 2.5, maybe 3 years now. The traditional auto world does not do a good job at mining their database, and there are quite a few different companies out there that can assist you, and I probably looked at, 4 to 6 different companies, used 3 or 4 of them, and this is just an absolute gold mine. So if you're not doing equity mining right now, I'm a big proponent of diving into and using your database. What about third-party leads, AJ? I know they're beat up a lot, the third-party providers, but what are you doing in terms of third-party leads?
I am strictly doing OEM, Auto Trader, and Cars.com. I'm still not sure whether any of them are worth the money, but it's more like I'm afraid not to be there, I think, sometimes, as well as my management staff. So we actually did shut off Cars and Auto Trader for a couple of months, and my used car manager and my general sales manager weren't real happy about it, so we are back on them right now. And actually, since we've gone back on them, we are having some semblance of success. We upped the packages we were on to a more of a premium package. You guys?
Yeah, we're pretty much doing the same thing with Auto Trader and Cars and the OEM. I try to limit packages because sometimes the enhanced packages are hard to measure. It's not to say that I don't ever do them, but I look at it really close. I ask myself, is this $500 bump or is this $1,000 bump going to give me more than if I were to add an additional $1,000 or $500 to search engine marketing. So
it only takes one car.
exactly. In terms of service marketing, this is something that we're expanding initiatives on right now. I came up on the sales side, so it's something that I'm getting more into. I'm learning more about. AJ, with you coming up on the service side, can you tell us a little bit about your service marketing and what you got going on and what you're doing that you haven't already told us?
As I said, service is where you can make the most money for your car dealer. If you can fill your service bays and you can keep your techs happy and you then get to sell parts and service, service sells parts and so on and so forth. So heck yeah, I am big on service marketing, and I want you to use coupons, folks. Please put coupons up on your website. Eliana, I think there's another slide there. Next slide.
Oh, there it is.
There you go. Coupons. The term coupons is one of the most searched terms on Google. Okay? So put them up there and make sure these are purely text because this is on a responsive site. But if you're using pictures and graphics, I use graphics that Kate makes for me on my regular website. Make sure you put the text underneath it. That goes back to the SEO that we were talking about earlier today. So let's get to what everybody's waiting for. We're going to rush through social media in 3 minutes. We may have to do another webinar just on social media, Eliana. I don't know.
Possibly. I gave you mouse control, AJ, so.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Okay. So social media, I'm very active on social media, as you know personally. Well, I'm also very active on social media as far as the dealership. You gave me mouse control?
Yes.
What happened?
Click to the next.
There we go. Okay, so I have to do it by mouse. Okay. All right, so I think I have a poll question there, Eliana. If you could do these 2 poll questions back to back for me.
That would be wonderful. Okay, audience, just so you know, we have our second poll question out of 4 poll questions. So, of course, we want to make sure that you get your answers in. The question before you is, do you currently respond to all of your dealership's online reviews? Please select one of the following answers. Is it yes, always, only the positive ones, only the negative ones, some but not all, or never? We want to know, how do you currently respond to all of your dealership's online reviews? Is it just the positive ones, just the negative ones, some of them, absolutely all of them, or never? Once we get a majority of those votes, we'll close the poll and we'll share the results. And guys, I gotta be honest with you, I think you're gonna be surprised by these results.
If I see any nevers, I'm getting on a plane and coming to your dealership.
Uh-oh, it's too late. You already put your answers in there. You can't change them. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's close this poll, and we'll share the results because we got another poll question to get to. All right, just so you know, 33% of today's audience, a solid third of today's audience, said yes, always. I think that's great. Before you go any further, is that in fact the correct answer? You should always respond?
Always, every time.
Every time. Okay. Well, you heard it, audience. 3% of today's audience said that they respond to only the positive ones. 13% of today's audience said they respond to only the negative ones. Now, the majority, 47% of today's audience, so nearly half, admit they respond to some of them, but not all of them. And it looks like you're going to be buying a plane ticket because 3% of today's audience actually admitted to never responding to their online dealership reviews. Audience, thank you so much for those wonderful answers. I really appreciate it. We are going to get to another poll question, so sit tight and look at this question, and please give us your answers to this one.
The never people can't answer this one.
Okay, probably. So the question is, who currently responds to your dealership's online reviews? So let's see. Is it the person who's mentioned in the review gets the opportunity and the know-how to go out there and fill that out? Or is it strictly left to the owner or the GM? The owner and the GM is the only person who fills out those dealership online reviews.
Eliana, I just want to say one thing. Folks, this isn't necessarily who actually goes in and does the review. It's who's represented in the response. Okay,
Oh, I did not know that. Okay, how about a social media or marketing person? Is that who you have responding to those online reviews? Maybe you have a vendor who's hired to respond to your online reviews, or is it the receptionist? Seriously, the receptionist? Do they do that?
Some places will do that because they're sitting there not doing anything, so they give them an extra job to do.
All right, well, there you have it. So, oh, your votes came in so fast. Thank you, audience, so much. Let's close this poll and share the results. I'll give you another couple seconds. Oh, another vote came in. All right, I love it. Let's close this poll and share the results. Only 2 answers were used in this poll question, Alex and AJ. 77% of today's audience said that they have a dedicated social media or marketing person who does in fact respond to all of those dealerships' online reviews. The remaining 23% said it is in fact the owner or the GM who is represented in those online reviews. No one hires a receptionist or a vendor or a person mentioned in the review to actually go and respond to those reviews. Alex, AJ, take it away.
I'm a little surprised about the vendor thing because there's a lot of quality vendors out there that you can tell them how you want them answered, but they'll actually do the actual answering for you. I'm probably leaning in that direction because right now my owner answers all the reviews. At least they're answered in his name, so you know who does the answering. And we respond to 100% of our reviews, whether they are negative, positive, indifferent. One of the things I'm going to say, I put this under social. I put this under social media along with Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, YouTube. Those are the channels that I'm using on social media. Remember something about social media, folks. Whatever platform you happen to be on, is, whoops, can I go backwards? Previous, sorry. Okay, whatever platform you happen to be on, you need to speak the language of that platform. All these platforms have different languages. You know, Twitter's a conversation. Facebook is informative. Google Plus, you know, you need to post and you need to drive reviews there. It's very important. But all of these things, what they are is they are social signals is what they're putting out there. And these social signals are designed for one thing, and that's to drive people home, and home is your website. And that's what I'm using social media for. Alex, what are you doing?
Before we move forward, I'm focusing on Facebook, Twitter, Google, and YouTube, and our primary focus is actually on Facebook and YouTube at the time. And, you know, I'm from the philosophy of do something well and then start to expand out. You know, I see some people out in our industry that, you know, they're doing 7, 8, 9, 10 things, and there's not a baseline to be able to expand out and do more. So we kind of bring it in a little bit and focus on a few different things, and once we get to the level where we want to, then we will expand out and do more on some of those other platforms.
People ask me about Pinterest all the time, and I say the reason I'm on Pinterest is because they are gaining more active users than anybody else right now. People are sharing my pins that I'm putting up there. I'm able to label pins back to my website, and they give me backlinks into my website. And as far as social signals go, I think it's one of the stronger social signals, and it's only going to grow. And besides that, folks, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So that's why I'm on Pinterest, if you're wondering. Most of my content is inventory and event driven. We talked about how important I think inventory is. Don't be afraid to post inventory. If you get likes and you get people on your page, you're a car dealer. That's what you do. They liked your page. They know that's what you do. Okay? Don't put up a cat, which I shouldn't say because I'm putting up a cat tomorrow, but it is car related. It is car related. Make it car related. That's what you do. Or talk about the things you do in the community. Talk about your locale. Talk about stuff that happens. We have UConn basketball. We have UConn football. We talk a lot about UConn. We talk a lot about the things that are going on here in New Britain. All about getting people to know that where we are, who we are, and what we're doing. What are you doing for content, Alex?
AJ, since you've already kind of touched on PR, I'll focus PR and community relations as it relates to posting on, as it relates to your content creation strategy. I'm going to talk a little bit about value, and I spoke about this at the last Digital Dealer Conference. Value: interesting, informative, and entertaining. Okay, those are the three areas that we really try to focus on, because you want to become an automotive authority in your marketing. Here's an example of a informative video about how to prevent a leaking sunroof. And you see almost 14,000 views with 50 likes. And I checked this last night. The like-to-view ratio is 1/3 of 1%, which is twice as much as the Justin Bieber baby video. Okay, so I'm pretty excited about it. You know, it's non-salesy and it gains momentum over time. Let's talk a little bit about Facebook ads, AJ.
Well, I think we have a poll first, don't we, Eliana?
I don't know. Is the poll slide up?
It should be coming if my mouse...
There it is. There, we do have a poll coming up.
Okay, here we go.
There it is.
Let's launch this last poll question. All right, audience, we want to know how much of your current online content is consumer value focused? How much of your current online content is consumer value focused? So you got 4 answers. It's pretty simple. Is it all of it, most of it, some of it, or none of it? All of it, most of it, some of it, or none of it. Once we get a majority of those votes in, we'll close this poll, and we'll share those results. And we are running way over time because I know...
Yeah, Eliana, I was just going to say, while we're waiting for the poll results, I know I'd be willing to come back and cover a lot of this social media stuff because I know people want to hear about it. Alex, I think you would probably be willing.
Absolutely.
And then, Eliana, it's up to you to tell us when.
Okay.
So we're going to rush through this.
Okay, here we go. Let's close this poll. Audience, thank you so much for getting involved with the poll questions. We really do appreciate it. Let's close this poll and share the results. Only 5% of today's audience said all of it. 68% of today's audience said most of it. And 27% of today's audience said some of it. What's the right answer, gentlemen?
Most of it's probably the right answer for me, Alex.
Yeah, I'd say most of it as well, and it's encouraging to see that high a percentage of people out there understanding that creating value in the marketplace is important.
Agreed. Okay, let's keep moving because we do have a lot of wonderful questions that came in from the audience. I'd like to try and hit as many of those before Alex has to take off.
Okay. Come on. There we go. What are you doing? What are you aiming your ads at, Alex? I'm doing some poke data and having a lot of success with the poke data. I'm also I boost my posts, and I've been doing a custom audience. I've actually uploaded my email list in there and had a lot of good effect with that.
Do you want to, let's go on to the next one. You want to show an example of what you mean?
Sure. Okay. I think I have one. Okay. Why is this not moving? Here we go. For instance, this is a boosted post, and if you'll look at it, folks, you'll see that 6,600 plus people were reached, and that there's a lot of engagement on this. There's over 602 clicks. There's 33 likes on the post. It got shared and things of that nature. Now, when I don't put any money behind it, for instance, on this one here, we didn't put any money behind it. Only 84 people saw it. You know, it only got 2 likes and comments and 1 click. Here's an inventory piece that I didn't put any money behind it. It's a red Jeep. People like red Jeeps. So 291 people saw it. Only 2 people liked it. You know, it only got 88 post clicks, which for me is not a lot. So it just really didn't go very far. So if you can, put some money behind your Facebook advertising. Alex, what do you got going on over here?
Well, I've tested all types of stuff, general and specific ad. Here's a specific ad, as you can see, and it is poke data with used in-market shoppers. And this specific ad is a specific inventory piece. It was really successful ad that we ran at 35 cents cost per click, and the Google Analytics in terms of the metrics on the back end were really, really strong as well. And the most important thing is the car moved in a short amount of time. Let's go ahead and get into blogging, AJ.
Well, I see that 35 cents per click. I've been down to almost 20. What's the lowest you've gone on your cost per click?
18 cents. That's the lowest.
Wow, isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
Folks, advertise on Facebook. Come on, slide, move. Here we go. Now, yes, I have a blog. I mentioned it before in SEO, but I also consider it to be part of social media because I share it all over social media. In other words, to drive traffic back home to my website. Alex?
It is the center of our informative, entertaining, and interesting content. So absolutely, blog is important. Talk to us about who does your updating on your social. Is it external or internal, AJ?
I have external help on my website. And basically, I look at it this way. I have a lot to do, so I conduct the orchestra, but I hire the players. I actually just switched over to KFI, to Kate Frost, and she's going to be helping me with my social media now. And I trust her a lot, but I'm still going to, have my fingers in it. You?
Gotcha. We have a great internal company that helps us out as it relates to all of our updates on our social. What about budget, AJ?
My budget, huh? Yeah, okay. I love spending money. It varies all the time. It's based on, we review it about every 6 months. My budget is set. It's a percentage of the gross, but within that percentage of the gross, what we spend and how much we spend here and there varies from month to month. On what we're spending it on, probably I'd say about 15% of it is variable. The other 85 is probably purely fixed from month to month. You guys?
We have a fixed variable percentage, so it's from a low range of the fixed side to a high range of the fixed side. But we do like to make sure that we're spending money on a consistent basis so that we can be that authority in the marketplace. Let's talk about our day, AJ.
Oh God, please. Our day are very full. I'm sure that you have signs all over your door. Do not bother me while I'm doing this, because people just walk in and knock on your door. We're working on our websites. I'm working on SEO. I'm working on my remarketing, SEM. As I say, that's kind of why I use a lot of vendors, because my day is very busy and I need to trust some people to help me out with other stuff. You do pretty much everything on this list as well, right?
Yeah, I think, AJ, that's why it was so hard for us to keep us to an hour. There's just so much to talk about and pack in the day in the life of what it is, that the scope of what we need to get done.
We go to parties and people ask me what I do, and I can just watch their eyes roll. I will say one thing that I've always said, folks. I spend half of my day doing my job. The other half of my day I spend relearning my job. So make sure that you do things like attend DealerOn webinars. Make sure that you go to conferences. It's worth being out of the dealership for a few days. Educate, educate, educate. The more you learn, the better you're going to be at your job. Any investment your dealer makes in educating you is only going to help him. And don't forget, folks, it's going to happen. You're going to have fires that you need to put out. Just let them come. Turn on the hose, get them put out as quick as you can so that you can get back to the rest of your day and see what's happening. So real quickly, Alex, this is kind of what we covered today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think we're to the point where we can kind of jump into the recommended reading and education, so they can take a brief look at that slide. I think that is important. One thing that's not on that slide is Tim Ash. If you want to learn more about conversion, I definitely recommend that. The next slide is the people that we follow on Twitter, and I know that Eliana is going to be sending this presentation back out to everyone, or a recording of the video, so you have a chance to go back and see these things. And now
look who's on the top of the list for Twitter, though.
Oh, there we are. So I think now we're at Q&A time. Only an hour and 15 minutes, AJ. Not bad.
Not bad. I thought we were going to go at least 3.
All right, audience. Well, I'll tell you what. We have some great questions from you, so we're going to try and get to as many as we can. Alex and AJ, you promise you'll keep your answers as short and concise as possible, right?
Yes, dear.
Okay, thank you. And it's that time. If you missed it at the beginning of the webinar, well, I announced that our good friends at Papa's Dodge and the Proctor dealerships are giving away some amazing prizes today on the webinar. You guys have 3 chances to win. 3 chances. So I want you to get to your keyboards. Good luck, everyone. Our first prize that you're playing for is a complete car care gift pack of Turtle Wax products. All you have to do is answer a simple question about today's presentation, and the first one to write in the correct response is going to win this prize. We're playing for the Turtle Wax gift pack. Here we go. Here's your question. Good luck, everyone. What did AJ Maida say you have to get if you're doing it right?
I know somebody tweeted it, so.
All right, we have our winner. Thank you, everyone, for playing along. Shannon Hammonds got the correct response. She was the first one to answer the correct with the correct response.
I got one thing to say. Shannon, F yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
It's an inside joke, folks.
Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. Shannon, thank you so much for playing along, as well as everyone else. You know what? You can sit this one out, little bit lady. But write on in and let me know what dealership you're from and your mailing address so we can get that prize out to you. Our second prize today is a set of, what is it? 3 Dodge Ram hats in a variety of colors. And I know my husband would like these. So good luck, everyone. Here's your question. Everything you do online should lead where? Everything that you do online should lead where? Oh, we have winner. Or winner is David Sharp. David Sharp was the first one to write in the correct response of home. Congratulations, David Sharp. Or as I like to call him, Sharpie. You are our winner. Right on, oh, Elliott Auto Group. Look how good he is with that. And Shannon is from Harbin Automotive, so congratulations to them. And the last prize is a, let me see if I get this right, unique ergonomically designed wireless Google mouse bought straight from Google headquarters. Boom. Here's your chance to win it. I wish I was eligible, but I'm not. So all I need you to do is be the first one to fill out this, fill in the blank. Blank what you measure. Blank what you measure. Kate Packler, you are our winner today. Congratulations. The correct response was manage. And here we go. We got Shannon Hammonds, David Sharp, and Kate Packler. Congratulations. Oh, you're from Barrel Automotive in Wexford, Pennsylvania? Very cool. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to all of today's winners. Thank you so much for everyone for playing along. And, of course, huge thanks to our good friends at Papa's Dodge and the Proctor dealerships for their incredible generosity. Thank you so much. Yes, please send me your mailing addresses. I do greatly appreciate it. Okay, Alex and AJ, if you're ready, let's get to some of these wonderful questions from our audience. First one comes to you from Joshua, and he says, you said you are still using autoresponders. I've turned off autoresponders and have focused strictly on personalized first response. My feeling first impression is key, and an autoresponder provides no benefit to the customer or the dealership. Thoughts on going away from autoresponders? AJ, Alex?
We turn them off during the day while we're here. My guys actually have the ability to turn them on or off. Since my guys are cradle to grave, if they're out on the floor with a customer, they turn them back. If they're both on the floor with a customer, they turn them on. If they're at their desk, they turn them off. And then overnight, we leave them on.
We don't use autoresponders either, and we handle them cradle to grave, and we have that hybrid approach where we have that backup person to make sure all leads get handled. So I agree with that philosophy. We went away from autoresponders a couple years ago.
Ah, okay. Great question, Joshua. Thank you so much. Bob wrote in. He wants to know if you guys would be willing to share your notes on your CRM search offline. Obviously, you took notes before you made your final
but
decision.
I think it's hard to share notes. I think I'd be open to, corresponding, because it's the same thing that I did. I called up some dealers that were using the system that I was possibly looking at, and I think that you get a whole lot more in a 10-minute, 15-minute conversation than you can in notes. But I think that's the best way to go about it.
I agree. Hit me up. I'll have a conversation with you about it.
I love it. I love it. Okay, next question comes to you from Linda. She says, we use Dealer Peak, and we love it. How do you get management to buy in? I've tried one-on-one training, and am currently having to do it for them.
Stop it. I mean, when they see that, you know, that it's not happening because they're not monitoring it, I mean, that's the best way I can do it, because I do believe Dealer Peak has a fairly good section in there. I should have mentioned them earlier. A fairly good section in there for managers to be able to look and see what everybody's doing.
I think the biggest thing you do, you have to figure out a way to get a top-down approach. And I know you hear this all the time, but what you're asking is the $65,000 question. And one thing that I try to do is educate from the top down in terms of how using the CRM directly turns into dollars and cents. And there are a lot of different ways to do that as it relates to, if you're able to do processes, then you can get more sales based on enhanced follow-up and things of that nature. So you actually have to put your sales hat on, and you have to be able to sell whoever is the person in charge to be able to make the people use the CRM. And we consistently do our best to try to reinforce it. And I'm going to tell you, it's not perfect, but we're way further than we used to be, 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
And good luck.
Yeah. Linda, thank you so much for the great question. Let's fly through the rest of these questions and see if we can get Alex out of here at a reasonable time, because he does have to go. James asked this question. Well, it's a lot of questions. What do you guys think about conversion tools such as AutoMark, etc.? How many calls to action is too many? And with chat, check availability, instant price quotes, etc. So how do you guys handle that kind of a tool?
I'm not familiar with that tool. You familiar with that tool, AJ?
I've actually looked at the AutoMark product. I think it's a really interesting product. My problem there is that we're kind of moving away from giving up the house here. Gross is good. There's nothing wrong with making a little gross. And sometimes with some of those products, my management staff thinks that they're giving away gross. My opinion on it is they're converting people who you were going to lose anyway. So, and if you're gonna give them the discount, you're gonna give them the discount. So if it gets them to convert, and it adds on, and here I'm going to say something here, folks. These tools are not meant to add on 30 cars a month. If you can get a tool, and this tool can help you sell 4 or 5 more cars a month, it's worth it. That's all you're trying to do with all these initiatives, is a couple of cars and layer them on. If you get 5 that work, then you're selling a lot of cars.
Gotcha. Okay, let's fly through some more of these questions. Next question comes to you from Martin. Martin says, when you're talking about a service page, AJ, I believe this is for you, are you talking about a completely different website and domain? Is it linked from your home page?
My DealerOn service site is not linked to my OEM mandated site at all. When I talk about service pages on my website, they are within my website. I do have some URLs that do redirects into my OEM site. I do have a separate URL for my DealerOn service site as well.
Oh, okay, great. Martin, if you have a follow-up question, please let us know. Okay, these next few questions are all for Alex, and you got a lot of responses, especially when you showed that video. Everyone was very impressed with it. So the first question comes from David. He said, how long was that pre-roll video? Should they be shorter, or shouldn't they be shorter? Alex?
Well, it depends on what you're using it for. And that particular one, I call it a social video pre-roll, because we don't run that in a traditional way. I've tested. I have all different types of social video pre-rolls where we have a longer version and a shorter version. And what I found is when I post it on somewhere like Facebook, it doesn't matter that it's 1 minute and 45 seconds, because that is a salesperson at the dealership and it's his girlfriend. So what happens is the girlfriend comments on it, and then her friends comment on it, and other people who bought from Procter Honda comment on the video. So it's more of a interesting, informative thing versus a sale video. So It could be shorter, but used on the Facebook platform, and I'm saying you can call it what you like, but used on the Facebook platform, it's been effective whether it's short, 30 seconds, or whether it is up to, let's just say, 2 minutes.
Got you. And Kate also wrote in, she said, so best practices for video pre-roll, though. How long should that be? Like 45 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds?
Best practices for traditional video pre-rolls, I like to keep them either 15 and 30-second spots. I normally run 15s and 30-second spots as it relates to a specific sell message when I'm running it through TrueView and YouTube and things of that nature, or on other networks. So
Kate wrote in, perfect, thanks. Okay, one more for you, Alex. David wrote in, Alex, are you able to co-op that pre-roll ad? Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, that is through Honda. So Honda doesn't really have a co-op program in the manner that some other manufacturers have to be able to co-op that video. We do have a Subaru similar video, and depending on who your manufacturer is, offline I can have a conversation about how it can be done. But the answer is yes, there is a way to get it co-op.
I would think if you just matched up to whatever their television requirements were, you'd be able to get a co-op, wouldn't you?
Well, it has to do with putting you know, their current theme or sale on the back end. It's like tagging the video at the back end and things of that nature. There's ways you can co-op it.
Okay, last 3 questions, super quick, all right? Both of you, what's a good company for equity mining? Do you currently use one? Which one do you use?
Okay, I don't do it, but I will tell you that I've looked at quite a few, and Velocity seems to have a real nice product, or whatever it is, Tier 10 Velocity, or whatever they're called, and I liked, I think it's Auto Alert.
Auto Alert, yeah.
Yeah, I liked what I saw from those.
Alex?
Other companies that I could say you could look at include Extreme. They have a good product out there in the marketplace. Autoloop has a pretty good product out there. Those are 2 others that I would recommend that you take a look at.
Okay. James wants to know, do either of you use lot links?
I've looked at it, and it's I've had conversations with them, and I probably will have another conversation with them at Digital Dealer if they're there.
But you don't
I
use
kind
them
of
right
debated
now.
with them back and forth, but currently I'm not using lot links. Are you using lot links, AJ?
I am not. I'm still researching it and looking at it, and I'm on the fence. I don't know which direction I'm going in.
Okay.
I think it's got a lot of potential. We'll see what happens.
And Kate wants to know if either of you use TrueCar.
No.
No.
Okay. And David wrote in, awesome job, guys. I'd be really interested in seeing another webinar with these guys on social media. Count me in. With that, AJ and Alex, marathon webinar with you guys today. Thank you so much. You put out a lot of information, and I, for one, am very, very grateful.
Thank you, Eliana. Thank you, Alex.
Appreciate you inviting us out.
Are you kidding me? I'm going to see you in Vegas, Alex, aren't I? All right, well, that was a fantastic presentation. Of course, we're way past the top of the hour. We answered all the questions, but don't worry, guess what? I recorded everything for you guys. So I'm going to send out that link to you in a little bit, and the webinar recording is also going to be posted online within 24 hours. All you have to do is go to DealerOn.com/webinars and click on the link on the right-hand side for on-demand webinars. There you can access any of our past webinars, or you can also view and register for our upcoming webinars too. And if you are like me and you loved today's presentation, well, let me tell you, in just another moment, we're going to be sending out this short survey. And when we do, please fill it out. We want to know what you thought of Alex and AJ's presentation today. Those who fill out this survey will be eligible to win one of 2 Google prizes that we're going to be giving out today. So please be sure to fill out that very short survey. It's literally 5 questions. It'll take you no time at all. All right? I also want to let you know that DealerOn is going to be at the upcoming Digital Dealer Convention 17 in Las Vegas, baby. It's next week, September 23, 24, and 25. So stop by booth 102. I'm going to be there. We're going to be talking about responsive website platforms. You can also see one of those service sites that AJ had talked about earlier. Thank you for the shameless plug, by the way.
You want to get smart. You want to get smart, folks. Go see all 4 of these guys.
They're really, really brilliant, so I really hope you take in the amazing education that's being offered at Digital Dealer. Of course, 4 of our best and brightest are going to be there, and please stop by booth 102, check out responsive websites, and please come and say hi to me. I'd love to take a picture of you and tweet it out, all right? And invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next webinar. Again, another great one you don't want to miss. Attention, Internet Managers. 6 steps for immediate success. Most dealers rely on bustling internet business to drive their store success, so they increasingly put more and more pressure on their internet manager to deliver consistent results. And arguably, new ISMs have it the toughest. They have to start strong, implement new processes, and hope to quickly establish credibility with both management and salespeople. Right off the bat. Sounds kind of hard, doesn't it? Well, it is. Are you an internet manager looking for ways to improve? Not to fear. Help is here. David Kane, a famed automotive trainer and industry veteran with a solid reputation for setting up successful internet operations throughout the country, is ready to help internet managers by sharing 6 steps for immediate success. So whether you have an internet manager for years or you're brand new to the position, this 1-hour webinar is going to cover 6 key steps you can utilize to immediately sell more cars and increase profits. This thrilling presentation goes beyond tactics and covers strategies as well as leadership and team building. You'll hear superior guidance from one of the most respected trainers in the industry, and you're going to gain the confidence you need to put those ideas into play right away. David's going to share best practices, innovative ideas, and actionable items that will surely bring swift and dramatic results to your dealership. If you're an internet manager, this is the webinar for you. Don't miss it. Don't forget DealerOn's weekly webinars are held every Thursday, 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Pacific. Oh, we have some great webinar subjects planned to round out this year. But if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding our webinars and our topics, please email me directly. My name is Eliana. I love hearing from you, so track me down online. I am everywhere, or you can reach out to me directly at Eliana@DealerOn.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today, and I hope to see you all on a future webinar in our continuing education series. Have yourselves a great day.